Hi guys, welcome to AndroGuider. So in this video, we will be reviewing Mokee ROM. So this ROM is based on the latest maintenance release of Android, which is Nougat 7.1.2. The ROM also ships with the latest security patches, and the build date of the ROM is 24th of July. In fact, this is the latest nightly build of the ROM for the Redmi Note 3, and this is an official nightly build. And the SC Linux status of the stock kernel is enforcing. Moreover, you can make out from under the kernel version that the stock kernel includes the latest Linux patches, so that enhances the overall security of the device. um, so we will start by talking about some recent developments in the ROM. So as most of you would know, Xposed framework was recently ported to Nougat with the help of an art submodule. So the Mokee ROM developers, uh, they merged that art submodule into the sources of Mokee ROM, and now the nightly builds of the ROM which were released on or after 21st of July, they have the Xposed framework built in. But unfortunately, when I installed the Xposed installer, I couldn't get the Xposed framework to work. You can see the error here. It states Xposed framework version 87 is installed but not active. Please check the logs for details. So Xposed framework doesn't work currently. I guess I'm not the only one who is experiencing this issue. I have come across a lot of posts in the Google Plus community of Mokee ROM with the people reporting this very same issue. So I hope the Mokee ROM developers, they can resolve this issue soon, so that we can get Xposed working on Nougat. And also the Xposed framework, which the arts submodule that hasn't been developed by Rovo 89. Rovo 89 is the official maintainer of Xposed. Uh, the arts submodule has been developed by someone else, but even if you get Xposed framework to work, there are currently really very few modules which work with Nougat based Xposed. So just keep that in mind. But as of now, at the time of recording this video, Mokee ROM is currently the one and only ROM out there which supports the Xposed framework officially. After Xposed was released, all the other custom ROMs which at least which I know of, they have denied support for Xposed, because Xposed is known to interfere with several things, and all the other ROMs out there, they have just said that they won't entertain any support queries if they come to find out that the user has installed the Xposed framework. So again, Mokee ROM is the one and only ROM out there currently which supports the Xposed framework. Okay, so since this ROM is largely based on LineageOS 14.1, we it's actually the Mokee ROM. They only add a couple of few tweaks over LineageOS 14.1, but this ROM largely resembles LineageOS. Okay, so first up we have got the display settings. You can see the brightness level, adaptive brightness, live display, rotation settings. This is where you have your option for rotating the lock screen and the 180 degrees rotation. Then you have got the wallpaper settings. And then we have got the sleep timer. The minimum limit is 15 seconds and the maximum is 30 minutes. Then we have got the screensaver ambient display settings. You can configure when should ambient display be triggered: when you pick up your device, or you do a hand wave over the proximity sensor, or when you pull out the device from your pocket. You can configure all that stuff. Then we have got wake on plug, expanded desktop, font size, default size, and cast. Next up, we have got the notification settings. So power notifications, if you want to enable that, yes, we already do have power notifications enabled by default. The ROM doesn't, so you do not have to enable power notifications separately from somewhere else. In fact, if you want to know, then the ROM doesn't include any system UI tuner. In fact, we can just quickly search for that. So you can see the system UI tuner is hidden. It's not present by default, but but we still have all the options which are present in the system UI tuner. You will see them as we proceed with the video. Um, Okay, so power notification control is enabled by default. So if you want to tweak the notification level for any app, say in this case Amaze, all you need to do is just tap on this A button, which will shift the notification control over to the manual mode, and then you can just drag the slider to the notification level of your preference. Okay, there are various levels of your choice. I'll just shift back to the automatic mode. um, then we have got the sound settings. So media volume, alarm volume, ring volume, notification volume, and then you can link or unlink the notification and the ringtone volumes. Increasing ring volume, vibrate for calls is present in here, and then you can tweak the ringtones. Then we have got the launch, the music player app when the headsets are connected. And then under other sounds we have got the dial pad tones, screen locking sounds, charging sounds, touch sounds, volume adjustment sounds, vibrator on tap. And then you can tweak the vibrator intensity. Under charging sounds you can enable the vibration, as well as you can set a custom notification sound for that. uh, Next in, we have got I guess the battery settings. You can We have got the extreme power saver mode. The Okay, so the maximum limit in here where when the power saver can be triggered automatically is 25%. And then we have got some different performance profiles you can choose from them, and then automatic optimization is enabled as well, and battery optimization. So nothing in nothing more in here. Then we have got users. So this is one of the things which I mention in each and every Nougat based ROM review that I do. Just make sure that you fill up this emergency information section. So what this allows you to do is, the God forbid if you ever run into any accident, and someone has to notify your loved ones, then all they need to do is view this emergency information. And this emergency information can even be viewed on a secured lock screen. So even if you are using a pin or a password or a pattern lock, it doesn't matter, because the person who tries to contact your loved ones, he or she will be able to view the view this emergency information even from your lock screen. So just make sure you fill this up, your general information, and if you want to add any contacts, then you can do that as well. Next in, we have got the gestures. So we have got jump to camera and double tap to sleep on the status bar. You can enable the gestures you want. Then we have got the button settings. You can enable or disable the on-screen navigation bar if you want to. If you disable the on-screen navigation bar, then you can configure the backlight if your device has hardware keys. The Redmi Note 3 does have hardware keys, so the Redmi Note 3 users can tweak the illuminate buttons. You can enable or disable that option, and then you can configure the illumination timeout. Okay, I will enable the on-screen navigation bar again, and then you can configure the button height. So 56 dps is the maximum volume, is the maximum height. Then we have got the left-handed mode, show the arrow keys while typing. Under buttons and layout, you have got the navigation bar editor. So you can actually make out the spacer is for giving indentation, and spacing between adjacent buttons. And then we have got the general back key, home key, overview button, and the menu and keyboard switcher. And then you can add the add the menu keyboard switcher always show button. So that button will always be shown. Then you can also add the search button, spacer button, clipboard, and the key code. um, and just quickly, if you just want to check out the various buttons, so the clipboard allows items to be dragged directly to the keyboard. Items can also be dragged directly out of the clipboard when present. So I will just explain the clipboard option, and in the end we have got the key code button. So the key code, the description of this pop-up box actually explains what the key code navigation bar button is all about. Key code buttons allow keyboard keys to be added to the navigation bar. When pressed, they emulate the selected keyboard key. First, the key must be selected for the button, followed by an image to be shown on the button. So again, I guess the description is pretty much self-explanatory for what this navigation bar button is all about. So you can tweak this as per your personal preference. I will just explain the clipboard button and the search button. It's That's pretty much self-explanatory as well. Although I couldn't get to use the search button, you can. I wasn't able to. Firstly, I thought that maybe the search button is for triggering Google search, but when I installed the G apps and then I tried out the search button, it didn't work. So I I am as of now I'm still not able to make out what the search button is for. Uh, so if in case you have any idea what the search button is for, please let me know in the comment section. And but honestly speaking, I still haven't got any clue what the search button is for. Although obviously it is for searching something, but I can't make sense of what of when can we use the search button, and how to use it. Anyway, I will just explain the functionality of the clipboard key, and here you can see the that keyboard switcher. um yeah, so say if we type anything, maybe hi, and you just want to copy this. uh, let's say we just select this and we copy this. Okay, and now say if you just want to insert the copy text from the clipboard into the typing area, all you need to do is just drag it from here, drag it from the clipboard to the region where you are typing, and then that text will be inserted automatically. Okay, and you can do vice versa as well. If you want to copy items to the clipboard, then you can drag it all the way down to the bottom. But again, I personally prefer to just simply select the text, and then we do get the cut copy paste options. So it's much easier to select the copy option from here on, although you can do the vice versa. um so I'll just go back to the stock layout, uh, reset, and you can also drag the navigation bar keys from here in, if you want to, if you want to just replace any um, change the position of any navigation bar button, you can do that. I'll just press the back key. Yeah, and then we have got some tweaks for the power menu. And if we enable all the options, this is how the power menu looks like. Then we have got use the power button for cutting the call, long press the power button for torch when the screen is off. um, and then you can if you disable the on-screen navigation bar, then you can configure the hardware you can configure the hardware key actions. So you can use the home button for answering the call, and then we have got a bunch of settings for the long press action. So uh, this is the list of actions from which you can choose from. So the one-handed mode option is in there. uh, just in case if you want to check that out, this is the one-handed mode. And then we have got similarly you can tweak the double tap action, short press action, and long press action for the recent key and all that stuff. Then we have got the volume rocker settings. You can use them to wake the device, answer the call. Then music playback is in there, control ringtone volume, keyboard cursor control. You can configure that as well. I personally prefer to have the last option. And then if you want to rotate the volume keys, swap the volume keys when the device is rotated, you can enable the last option. Okay, then we have got the security settings. So unknown sources is not checked in by default. And So just in case if you plan to sideload any apps, then you can do that. Although just quickly I want to cover up another thing which I noticed recently. I haven't seen this in previous Nougat based ROMs. This is the first ROM in which I'm noticing this. So when I tried to install an APK file today, unknown sources is checked off by default. But when I was trying to install the file, I got this just once option here. Well, so if you tap on the just once option, it will allow you to install the APK file, you know just for once. Again, I haven't noticed this in any other ROM out there. So this is one of those few minor additions which the Mokee ROM developers they have uh, added over LineageOS. And in even when I had reviewed Mokee ROM last year, I had mentioned about these about the several small feature additions which the which Mokee ROM has. And these are those really very small feature additions which enrich your overall experience of using the ROM. So this is one of those great features which we have. And Secondly, then you can obviously select the uh, swipe pattern, pin, or password lock if you want to have a secure lock screen. And under the pattern lock, you can choose the grid size 3 by 3, 4 by 4, 5 by 5, or 6 by 6. And then if you when we tap on the gear icon, you can configure the lock screen message, lock screen the bottom lock screen shortcuts, and display music visualizer, display media cover art, double tap to sleep anywhere, and show the weather. Okay. So for enabling the weather settings, you will have to go ahead and drag this ZS widget. Although the clock widget is enabled by default, but initially when you want to set up the want to set up the weather settings, you will have to drag whether the ZS clock widget from the widget panel to the home screen. And then you have to go to the weather panel, enable display weather, and then under weather source, Mokee weather. This weather provider is installed by default. I didn't install it from any other source. The ROM ships with the Mokee weather provider, so just tap on this to enable it. And under settings, there's nothing else. Then you can configure the update interval, and you will have to enable a custom location, because I tried to use this I tried to use the Mokee weather provider without setting a custom location, and the Mokee weather provider wasn't working then. Only after I set up a custom location, only then the weather provider worked. Only then I was able to view the weather. Okay, so you will have to set up a custom location. Else you won't be able to use the inbuilt weather provider. You will have to then resort to the third party weather providers from the Google Play Store. You can, if I just go to the weather provider option, you do have an option for adding a weather provider. And when you just simply tap on that, you do have this, um, you will it will redirect you to the Google Play Store. And even from here in, you can see that we actually don't have any weather providers. If you want to use a weather provider alternatively, I will be having a link down below in the description box for the Yahoo weather app, for the Yahoo weather provider. That's the one which I use personally. So if you want to use the Yahoo weather provider, you can check out the link down below in the description box. It will be the link will be of an APK file. Just go ahead and install that APK file, and uh, then you will be able to uh, view the weather provider uh, under the. I'll just go again and drag the widget back, and then after you have installed that APK file, then you will be able to see the Yahoo weather provider under the providers list here. Okay. Yeah, and then you can configure the icon set and colors, timestamps, metric, all that stuff. Okay. And the last thing, single tapping on the left half of the widget opens up the clock, and when you tap on the right half, then it will give you an overall summary of the forecast of the next few days, and the wind speed and all that stuff. Okay. Moving on. I did, I guess, enable the I enabled everything. So let's go to the lock screen. Okay, so from herein, you can see that the weather is being shown, and double tapping on the lock screen works fine as well. Um, then you all the other options, nothing new in here. Then I will enable the on-screen navigation bar buttons once again. Okay, yep. And if you would have noticed, the on-screen navigation bar, it does the home button does have that pixel animation. And Well, I know the navigation bar was transparent before um, I disabled it, and now it's back. The background isn't changing. Anyway, we will move on. Then we have got the privacy settings, privacy guard and protected apps. So I had done a separate tutorial on privacy guard, and I'll be having a link down below to that in the description box. So if you want to know more on how to use privacy guard as a tool to combat malicious apps, as well as on how to use it as a battery saving tool, then do check out that video. And using protected apps, you can use a pattern lock to secure the apps of your choice. So you can configure that as per your need. And then we've got the status bar settings, quick pull down, show notification count, system icons. So from here in you can enable or disable any icon you don't want to be shown in the status bar. And then if you want to show the seconds in the clock, you can enable this option. And then we have got the network speed. So we don't have many tweaks in here. You can either disable it or show the outgoing traffic, incoming traffic rates, or the outgoing and the incoming data rate exchange speeds. um, and for those of you who are more interested, the display unit is bits. So sorry, the display unit is bytes. So the network speed exchanges will be shown in bytes rather than in bits. So if you are someone who is concerned about bytes and bits, 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. So the data rate exchange speeds are shown in kilobytes, megabytes, and that's the difference. So if you are concerned with that, um, then you can configure the clock position, right, center, or left, am pm style. If you want to normal, small, or hidden, we have got a bunch of font style options, or you can simply hide it. Then we have got the battery status style, portrait icon, landscape icon, circle, text. Okay, so you can tweak that. And then battery percentage inside the icon or next to the icon. Then we have got the option for brightness slider, automatic brightness, brightness control. um, then we have got the system profiles. So again, these are settings which are similar to the ones which we have already seen in LineageOS, but still I will do a quick recap. So you can configure the name, then you can configure when should a particular profile be triggered. Say if I want to trigger the default profile when I am connected to the Wi-Fi network AndroGuider, then I can enable this option. So when I am connected to the Wi-Fi network AndroGuider, the default profile will be enabled. So this is pretty much similar to Tasker. If you use that, when should a particular profile be triggered? So you can tweak that. If you use a Bluetooth headset maybe, or if you use Bluetooth in your car, and if you want to enable uh, if you want a particular profile to be triggered when you are connected to a particular Bluetooth device, then you can set up that trigger as well. And then you can also tweak when should a particular profile so say if I want another profile to be triggered when I am disconnected from the Wi-Fi network AndroGuider, then I can set up that profile as well. Okay. Then you can choose what happens after a particular profile is triggered. What should happen to the Bluetooth? Should it turn off, turn on? So say I can set up. So maybe if I am going out of my house and getting into my car, and in my car I prefer to use the Bluetooth headsets, or many cars also have that option wherein the car stereos, they catch that the audio. If you are getting an incoming call, then the call audio is transferred via Bluetooth from the phone, and then it is the and then it is outputted via the car, the speakers of the car, the audio speakers in the car. So in case you want to set up a profile like that, then you can set this profile, so say I can get the default profile uh, to trigger when I am disconnected from the Wi-Fi network AndroGuider. Then I want my Bluetooth to be turned on, and since I am already paired with the, you can actually see that the profile got triggered automatically since I am connected to the Wi-Fi network. So again, I will just disable the Wi-Fi, and I guess that doesn't disable the Bluetooth. Okay, so we have turned off the Bluetooth now, and you can see the icon, the Bluetooth icon is gone now. Now when I enable the Wi-Fi, it will turn on the Wi-Fi network, and then the default profile should get triggered automatically. Okay, well, or maybe it takes some time to get triggered. Well, actually, I don't have an idea why it still isn't getting triggered. Maybe I will just repeat it. Um, okay, or well, actually, you did saw that. Oh, sorry. In fact, the profile trigger was that when I'm disconnected from the Wi-Fi network AndroGuider, then the Bluetooth will be enabled. Okay, so yeah, I just remembered it the wrong way. Sorry for that, guys. Okay, so you can make sense. So if when I get out of my home, I would be automatically disconnected from the Wi-Fi network of my home, and my Bluetooth would be turned on. And since my device is already paired with the Bluetooth headsets or the Bluetooth in the car or whatever, the my phone will automatically get connected to the Bluetooth. So again, these are small tweaks which you can set up to help you out. And similarly, you can set up the GPS, Wi-Fi, auto sync data connection, portable Wi-Fi hotspot, preferred network type, and alarm. You can change the volume levels, ambient display, notification light. You can set that all up if you want to. Okay. um, then we have got languages and both backup and reset, basic stuff. Uh, Developer options. So the developer options are not enabled by default. In order to enable them, you will have to go to about phone and then tap on the build number 7 times, and then you can enable developer options. Advanced restart option is present in here, and the ROM is rooted by default, and it does come in with the apps and adb only, or apps only, so you don't have to flash the LineageOS add-on, the root add-on which LineageOS provides to obtain root access on LineageOS. So but in case you are someone who is concerned about the safety net check, uh, first up you will have to install the Magisk instead. There is no alternative to that. If you continue to use the root which is shipped in the ROM, then you won't be able to pass the safety net check. So first up, you will have to head over to this uh, to the post link. I will be having a link down below in the description box. You will have to download this UnSU script zip, and first of all, you will have to flash this, and after that, you will have to flash the Magisk flashable zip. After you have done that, so this unsu zip file, it will remove the root add-on which you have currently with the ROM. This is something which I prefer. It's not advisable. At least I won't advise you from my end that you should go ahead and directly flash Magisk on top of Mokee ROM. I won't personally advise you that. Instead, I will firstly advise you to flash this ANSU zip and then flash Magisk over it. Okay, so that's the way you should go about it. Um, then advanced restart, OEM unlocking, that's enabled by default. Uh, Android debugging is disabled by default, but if you plan to restore your apps using Titanium backup, then it's definitely recommended that you enable this option. Then the Mokee ROM does support Substratum theme engine, and if you are using a beta build of Substratum, then you must enable the force authorize every theme option. Then we have got a bunch of Wi-Fi and mobile data settings, animation scales, and then by tweaking the smallest width attribute, you can configure the DPI of your device. Then we have got the GPU settings, and we have got the kill app back button in the end. And then if you want the activities to be resizable for the split screen mode, then enable this option. Well, apart from that, we have got a couple of apps in here. uh, and again, the ROM does support Substratum, and we do get the Substratum engine is built into the app, and well, the navigation bar works fine now. Anyway, so we have got Aegis. This is one of those apps which are built into by are built by the developers of Mokee ROM. You won't be finding this anywhere else. So this is a power saving tool. So from in here you can grant wake lock permissions. You can if you don't want to grant wake lock permissions to certain apps, you can disable them from here in, and then allow apps to run start background services. Again, you can tweak that. Hibernate apps, this is if you have used Grainify, then this is actually similar to that. And then if you want to allow the apps to send broadcast to be stopped, and the linked apps, then you can configure all that. And under the advanced settings, we have got force stops the restricted apps when exiting, and wake up the hibernated apps when the screen is turned on. So you can configure all of this as per your needs. Although I'm a bit unsure about the wake locks, so as many of you would know, each and every app has several wake locks, and I don't know, grant wake lock permissions. So maybe if I revoke the wake lock permissions of certain apps, uh, does I'm still not clear whether Aegis will disable all the wake locks, or will it disable certain wake locks. So this is something which I am unsure about. uh, and then you can test this out, and uh, but definitely this will help you in saving up some of your battery life. So you can tweak this as per some battery hungry apps out there include the default Facebook app, the Messenger app from Facebook, UC browser, that's one of them. And well, I guess these are uh, mm, these are mostly the ones which consume most of the battery. So if you install either the three of them, you can tweak the wake lock, warden, and hibernate permissions for them. Okay. And then we have got Amaze. So this is an inbuilt file explorer. So we have got a couple of options in here. The Amaze file browser, it can open archived files like the .zip files, and it also allows you to create a folder file or a cloud connection. But when I try to tap on the cloud connection and I tapped on get cloud plugin, it gives me a force close. um, then from the three dotted menu, you can sort the various files: name, last modified, size, type, ascending, descending, and history. You can view the list of directories which you have visited in the past. So this is a really very I would say this is a great feature, because it allows you to navigate between different directories very quickly. And also you can simply go ahead. You have this swiping feature which will allow you to go ahead between move between different directories as well. um, Maybe I can just go back. Well, okay. um anyway, and I'll just head over to, you also have the FTP server app manager. um from this three dot menu, open, backup, uninstall, properties, play store, share. So a bunch of options in here. You can view the documents, audio files, videos, images, recent files, quick access, FTP server, you can even launch that. And then you can configure the theme, material, light, dark, daytime, uh, set the colors for the various UI components, so again, this is a really very this is a feature rich file explorer, and you can configure the bunch of options which we have in here, the Amaze File Explorer. um, well, yeah, and then if you just want to head over to home, we can you then you can navigate between different. Suppose if I have an SD card, then I can view that in the first tab, and then by swiping I can view the other tab of the internal storage. uh, then you can change the grid view, set as home, exit, and well, okay, so we have got a bunch of options in here. um, Moving on, then you have got the jelly browser, calculator. The We have got the uh, inbuilt snap camera. So it does give you a bunch of options in here. um, and well, you can obviously tweak the flash, GPS location, picture size, quality, countdown timer, storage location, continuous short, face detection. Again, we've got a lot of options in here. um, I'll just let you guys take a quick look at them. Okay, and then we also had those standard modifications of changing to the front camera, HDR mode, uh, filters, and if you wanted to go ahead and modify your uh, modify the image capturing, you can select from different modes. uh, anyway, so that's all what we have in the camera. Then we have got an email application, files, FM radio. We have got the stock LineageOS gallery, Mokee Center. So another great thing about Mokee ROM is that it allows you to install OTA updates, and uh, the Mokee ROM, they provide you with Delta updates as well. So if you are say on a if there is an update to a new nightly build, then there will be a small update package weighing somewhere around, usually it's around 10 to 30 MBs. So you will get a small update package, and so if you are someone who is concerned about updates, then you should definitely try out Mokee ROM, because they will uh, give you Delta updates, and and you will also be notified whenever a new nightly build is available. So you can check for updates from here in, and you can also then view all the developments related to Mokee ROM. Visit their website, forums, check the changelog, GitHub. You can do all that stuff. And if you like the ROM, you can definitely donate to the Mokee ROM team as well. um, Okay. Then we have got the Apollo music player, the phone application, recorder, and for those of you, again, there are just really very small things which I would like to mention. You can see that the primary color in the status bar is similar to what we have got down below in the navigation bar. So again, these are really very small tweaks which the Mokee ROM developers they have done in, and I had mentioned these last year when I had reviewed marshmallow based builds of Mokee ROM. So these are really very small things which enrich your overall experience of using the ROM. um, so well, under sound and vibrations, you can tweak the in call vibration. So in case you are wondering where these settings are, this is where you can enable all those vibrations from. And then you can also tweak the audio format for call recording. We can tweak the vibrate for call option is also in here. So again, there are a bunch of options in here. And for those of you who are using a Redmi Note 3, VOLT works with the ROM. You can see that VOLT definitely works. And we'll just take a quick look at the quick setting tiles which we get. So these are the quick setting tiles which are enabled by default, and these are the ones which you can add on. Okay. um And then a quick look at the wallpapers which we get. So a great collection in here, and these are the widgets which you can choose from. And the stock launcher is Trebuchet, and I had once again I had done a separate tutorial on that. So if you want to know more on how to tweak Trebuchet, then do check that video out. um, I guess we are pretty much done with this video. I think I have covered up mostly everything. This is the inbuilt messenger application, and we do have the Gboard is the stock keyboard in here, and it does support gesture typing. um, well, yeah, I guess we are done with the review now. So in case you like the video, hit that thumbs up button, and in case you want to get a notification in whenever we upload our future videos through this channel, then do subscribe to us as well. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a nice day, take care, and we will catch you guys in the next one. Stay tuned.